What is up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Gamers Podcast, episode number 130. I'm Nick Bersanowski, and with me this week and every week is Steve Morgan.
Yo, what's up, people? Oh, fuck. My camera. It's an earthquake!
Charles Caldwell.
Yay!
And Tim Madden.
For the Horde!
So yeah, jumping right into it. You guys played WoW this weekend. WoW Legion. Probably like a whole bunch, huh?
Yeah, a lot. Quite a bit.
Your eyes bleeding.
Steve more than me.
I didn't stop playing it, basically.
So approximately how many hours would you say you sunk into it this past weekend?
Weekend or week? I need to.
Yeah.
I probably put in like a good 10 to 12 hours a day for a week. So
Jesus.
I don't know, 70 hours probably or something.
That is so much.
I was there. I was there with Steve for one night, and everyone else slowly like faded off until it was about like 6 a.m. and we were still awake, like just like like me and Steve were talking, but it didn't really make sense. It was just words kind of like echoing across the room, and it was just like we're both incoherent, but it was pretty good. We grinded hard. Like I was like level 107 when I got there and hit 110, and then we were running heroic instances by the time I left, so we went pretty hard.
Yeah, it was nuts. It like Ryan and them was going so hard because I showed up and I went really hard before I came because I was like I want to make sure I'm like max when I get there so we can do stuff, and then I got there and like Ryan's friend Dan was like 103 and I was like okay, so they're just like leveling and like Ryan was still like 106. So like I showed up, I was 110. Ryan went from like 106 to like when I left, like I think I left on Sunday, he was running mythics. Like he was like doing the max like end game dungeon content, like completely like, you know, it should take like weeks to be done. He was like doing it in like 4 days, and I was just like, damn, this got real intense.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so we played a shit ton, but hey, it was fun.
I think the highlight was that rat mount.
Oh my god. So yeah, so I found out like at some point, this is after like playing the game probably like 40 or 50 hours. When I was at Ryan, I found out that there's a new mount that's a rat, and you have to get it. Only way you can get it is by going to this like one zone, which is like free for all, player versus player. And so I just like, this was like at like 2 in the morning when I figured this out, and I was like, and you have to get like, I don't know, the equivalent of like something like, I don't know, like 1,000 honorable kills in there or something crazy like that, right? Like you need to be in there for a long. It's like clearly something you're supposed to grind over like weeks or like a month. And I just went super hard from like 2 to 6. I was like 70. Well, so the best part was like, it was like you need like a million like honorable kills, right? And like Ryan's like, you're never gonna get this. And so like after like half an hour, I'm like, dude, I'm 1% the way there. And he's like, yeah, you're 1% after half an hour. It's gonna take you forever. And then at some point, I just learned out like some trick with like my class that just like spreads diseases over everybody. And I got like 10% in like an hour, and I was like going, and I just went all in. I just like played, like it was like 6:30 a.m. Sun was coming up, and I was like, Ryan woke up, and he was like, "What are you guys still doing up?" And I'm like 60%. So I got it. I did get it. I did eventually go to bed, but I got it eventually, and I mean it's worth it. It's amazing. You just ride on a rat. It's fucking awesome. I don't know how to explain other than that. So
Yeah, we're all naysaying. We're like, no, there's no way you're gonna do that, and then next thing you know, like noon the next day, he had it. It was just crazy. It went by so fast.
You killed countless people.
yeah,
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I just go in there. There'd be like hundreds of people, and then I would just spread my disease over everyone and just run around in circles and wait for someone else to kill them, and then I'd get credit because it's like you don't have to be the person that actually kills them. You just need to be like involved when they kill. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But
That's fantastic.
then the other thing I've been doing, which is like nuts, is I've been like basically just. At one point, I figured out that like I started doing blacksmithing, and at one point I figured out that like there's a certain item that all the professions need to like to finish this profession quest to be able to like make this item to upgrade their like to upgrade crafted gear. And so just basically there's this one piece of gear from every crafting profession that you need, and blacksmithing and tailoring is like super expensive because it's just super hard. The materials are really hard to get, and it's like the quest line is fucking extremely tedious to get to it. So I realized like, and I had been like mining like on my own, I realized like this thing's worth like 18,000 gold. Like just straight up 18,000 gold just to buy it. And like I had enough material to make like 2 of them. So I was like, shit, I got like 30,000 gold like of worth of shit here. So to put it in perspective, like right now, like a month of game time is like 35,000 gold. So that's like basically like a month of game time worth of gold, like $15 worth. I'm like, shit. So I'm like, I'm in. And then I realized at some point that the materials to make this off the auction hall are like 6,000 gold to make. So I've just been like buying the shit. I've been like basically a factory. I've been just basically like buying shit and posting it and undercutting people nonstop for the last like 3 days. It's nuts. I went from 30,000 gold to I'm at 250,000 gold. Like in, I don't know, 3 days or something. It's like absolutely insane.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
that's awesome.
It's mostly like, and the sad thing about it is like that's just like that's me like being late. Like some people must make so much money like knowing what to do and like knowing like getting it out early, because it like shit just drops in price after a while. But it's nuts, man. And on other servers that are like higher pop, like I think on Area 52 it's like 40K. Like I'm sure the materials are also super expensive too because everyone just has so much money, but like it's just like insanity. It's complete, and like every day it's funny because I like the price fluctuates during the day. Like every day it's like gets down to like 12,000, and then every night like people stop making them, and then the price drop like just climbs back up. Like today it's like back up at the 18K. I'm just like, how is this happening? How am I still making money off of this? Like it's just crazy. It's just mind-boggling. So I'm just gonna keep riding it, and then I'm never gonna buy any more WoW time. That's pretty much my plan.
It's funny that you mentioned that because just today I've been watching like the token price, and it kind of, I was gonna buy it at the end of before Legion came, but it peaked at like 40K. Then it just dropped down to like 34. So I held off, and I just bought like 6 months today at like 35K. So
That's crazy.
that's like $90 worth. So I was like, all right, just save $90. So.
It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, well, I mean, my gold is nothing in comparison to Tim. He's like a billionaire, but I'm just like, I'm new blood. When
New money, yeah.
Yeah, new money.
How much did that leave you with him?
I still have over 1 million for the test on my characters.
It's ridiculous, man. So anyways,
I also did buy there's like this huge yak amount that has like vendors on it that's like 120,000 gold, and I was like, I'll just buy it. What the hell?
You bought it?
It's nice to have that much money in WoW.
Dang.
So it's a mount where there are vendors on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mount. It has like a vendor and a transmog dude on it. It's just ridiculous.
How big is it?
It's just a huge, like, it's a yak. It's the grand yak it's this giant yak dude that has like a tent on it and little like people riding on the sides.
Huge. He's
Yeah,
huge.
it's ridiculous.
So then you can just sell your shit or repair your shit wherever you go.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as you're outside, you just mount up and you get all your stuff.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's definitely. I'd say that's worth
It's pretty good. Yeah.
120K.
It matters a lot when you're like me and you die a lot, and then you have fucking your shit broken all the time. So, and then I'm constantly trying to find a guy to repair my shit. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to buy one of these fucking mounts. So yeah, it's pretty legit. And also everyone else can use it, so it makes you a boss.
Oh, nice.
So you can like put it
that's
down, and
huge.
then people can like
You
repair.
should get a
it.
cut of that money.
everyone that buys and sells shit at your vendors, you get like some percentage. It'd be so great.
That would be fantastic. So, anything else this weekend worth talking about? Apart from epic amounts of World of Warcraft.
Our trip to Lake Embe, guys.
Yes. Charles and I and our families and wives went to a campsite that was was talking to I told Tim a little bit about this before the podcast, but it was a cabin that was out on this land that's owned by Dartmouth College, and it went all the way, like, it's gated, so people can't get in unless you have a key. And then so our cabin was 12 miles beyond that gate, and then into the wilderness. And then once we got to where we park for our cabin, we then had to take a suspension bridge across a river and walk like a quarter mile to get to our cabin.
Damn.
It was ridiculous.
Typical.
Yep. We swam, and it was really cold. It was really cold up there. And there were lots of spiders. There were like spiders everywhere.
Oh yeah, they were just eating the bumblebees, eating the humans, eating whatever.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yep. They were huge. I mean, they were like hand-sized spiders.
There was one where we were going to swim, and there was just a spider web, like from the trees down to the water. And I was like, what the hell is this? And we looked, and then Nick saw the spider where it was just like...
Yeah, it was like coming out of the water. I was like, what? This is now the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's like a nightmare. I would have ran all 12 miles or whatever and never gone back.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yes, we did. But it was all right. And then we saw this wasp that was, Charles was like, what the hell is that thing? We saw this like big object moving in the sand, like up the river a little bit. And it was this wasp, and it had like killed a spider, and it was dragging it back into the woods.
Oh my god.
It was ridiculous.
Is this Australia or?
I was just gonna say that. Seriously.
Northern New Hampshire.
Yep, Northern New Hampshire.
Damn.
Scary.
Some game hens, some bald eagles. You saw a bald eagle rip a fish and eat some fish, right?
I didn't.
Oh no.
I think your parents did.
Oh.
But yes, that did happen. It was a good time. Labor Day weekend camping is always fun.
And a boat driver was talking about bald eagles eating baby loons. Good.
Yep. But yeah, there's a little bit of gaming news stuff out today actually. So CD Projekt, the studio that did The Witcher 3, is working on their new game Cyberpunk 2077. And first of all, the game looks amazing. Like I love the way that it looks. And I love the whole cyberpunk aspect of it. But they apparently have like over 100 developers working on this game right now. And when asked about like the size, they said it's going to be much larger than The Witcher 3, which
is crazy.
is huge.
Yeah.
Like that's so much. And granted, like, I mean, and you know, with some studios, I'd be concerned because making games on such a grand scale can make it so that it's like, okay, well, it just seems so empty and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, we know with The Witcher 3 that that's not the case, you know, with the games that they make. It feels like a living, breathing world. And I feel like I'm just like frothing at the mouth for a game that's like The Witcher 3 in terms of size and genre, like sort of genre, and but not genre, but just the way that the game works, and then it's set in this cyberpunk world. So there's gonna be like machines and like a lot more buildings, and it's gonna be like more industrialized, and I don't know. It's cool. I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I have a lot of faith in CD Projekt. So
yeah, I think they I don't know what they start as in terms of like business size, but just recently I read an article that they're now valued at over $1 billion. And I mean, they started as this little tiny studio, and you know, they just made a bunch of really good games and like really showed gamers that they valued their support, especially with all the free DLC and everything they did with Witcher 3. It was to like a home run, a grand slam, big time.
Yeah.
So I think people have a lot of faith in Cyberpunk.
I mean, I think if they use the same model in terms of how they did the game and how they, I guess how they rolled it out, yeah. I think it's only going to further the trustworthiness factor for their company because, I mean, if you're making a huge game, there's plenty of content, and then they're going to roll out. I can't imagine that they wouldn't do the same thing where they roll out, the free DLC for like months at a time, and then the paid DLC will be like huge. It's actually worth the money that you're spending, and if that's the model they use, then they're golden.
For sure,
barring any unforeseen issues with the game. But speaking of wide open games and awesome animals, Pokemon Sun and Moon is apparently going to have some sort of Pokemon Snap type feature built into the game, so that you're going to be able to just walk around and take pictures of Pokemon throughout the game, which Pokemon Snap was actually a very fun game. I just hope it's not on rails.
Yeah. I don't know if they haven't really explained it, but I'm assuming it's kind of like a mini game within the actual game. I'm not sure. I did watch. There's like a new trailer out, and I watched that, and there's like they explained a bunch of new features and stuff. So, but yeah.
I mean, Pokemon Snap was basically the entire game was just a mini game.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just how quickly can you look around and see if there's a Pokemon, and then you just do that again on the same rails and get them all.
Yep.
You gotta throw
ridiculous.
Yeah, God.
Are you excited for Sun and Moon, Tim? Are you
gonna play it? Yeah. It looks so. I mean, like. I don't know. I feel like I had finally, as this old ass dude playing Pokemon, I feel like I had finally figured it out, and like I knew like all the stuff. And now they introduce all this crazy ass new shit, like this new they're called Z moves or something. So like the Pokemon have a new move, a new like special move. I don't know if you saw the trailer for the whole Snorlax thing, but apparently there's been this big long progression in Snorlax that they've there's a video on it. You search for the Snorlax video on the Snorlax Pokemon Sun Moon thing. Like each time they've released a new game, like Snorlax is slowly like woken up, been like more propped up in each game. Like he started in the first game, he's laying down on the ground asleep, and then he's slowly sitting up, and then eventually in the most recent game he's standing up. And now they released him, and he has the Z move, which you got to watch the move itself, like the video. He just he wakes up, his eyes turn red, and then he runs at like a million miles per hour, jumps in the air, and then lands on the other Pokemon and just flattens them. And there's like a nuclear explosion. And the name of the move, the name of his Z move, his like big powerful move, it's called Pulverizing Pancake. It's just so ridiculous. It's so absurd, but. It's just things like that. Like there's new moves. There's new. So like a bunch of the old Pokemon have new forms. They have they're like just different variations, but they also have different types and stuff. It's really weird. It's just all these new little things you gotta like relearn. So it'll be fun. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be interesting and just something else you gotta figure out.
They haven't introduced crossbreeding yet, like Retrio or something, like three-headed rat with like bird feet.
That'd be cool. I mean, you can breed Pokemon who are the same types. There's some Pokemon you can do that, but you get like you get one of those Pokemon out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a whole nother thing, breeding Pokemon, dude.
God. Sounds horrible, but I kind of want to play it. So.
Yeah, and there's actually a new Pokemon now that's called Type null. And it's just this weird ass janky thing that has different forms. It's like they've really run out of ideas now. They just have these weird ass Pokemon that make no sense.
Oh my god.
I still have never finished a Pokemon game.
What's wrong
Ever.
with you?
Yeah.
I know. I've played them, but I just never finished them.
No excuses,
I
man.
Yeah, well. Charles defiling a cat.
Charles's stomach.
That cat is going to destroy Charles one of these days.
The cat is going to
They
destroy
haven't
the
killed me in
world.
my sleep yet.
Yeah.
I dare him to every night. I'm like, just try it, buddy.
Now, have you guys all played the Telltale's The Walking Dead?
I played the first episode and some of the second, so.
You know, a little bit of it.
Okay. Because there's the new season 3 is officially has a name at this point. And it's been a while since we've heard anything about it, but apparently season 3 of The Walking Dead has been officially named A New Frontier, I think. Yep, A New Frontier. And it looking at the cover art, and there has been a reveal trailer. The main character Clementine, who's like a little girl to begin with, I think she looks to be probably like a teenager, maybe early teens. I don't know. She looks still young, but she's like holding in one picture she's holding like this long rifle, and then in another in the trailer she's got a handgun, and she looks a lot more badass and grizzled than in the first 2 seasons. I mean, there was definitely a progression in the second season that she had a little bit of I mean, she had seen a lot in that first season, so she was definitely changed. But this new season looks pretty good. It's set 4 years after the outbreak from season 1, so
It's cool.
yeah, so should be interesting. I like the first one. The second season was not. I didn't think was as good. I mean, it was still good, but the first season was just, I mean, hard to beat. So hopefully this third one will continue in the steps of the first season, in that sense.
Nice, yeah. Have you played any of the other games like that, like the Telltale games?
I played a lot of them, actually. I played what the hell is hold on, I gotta look it up
The Wolf.
because I'm blanking right now.
The Wolf one.
Yeah, the Wolf one. That's the one I saw.
Wolf Man
that I
Among
played.
Us. Wolf. I don't know what it's called.
A Wolf Among Us. Yeah.
Something like that. We're just like making up names. I don't even know.
Yeah, I played that. I played the Game of Thrones one.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one. Yeah.
That one was really good. Like, there was a lot of shit that happened that was like, dang. I mean, your choices actually made a huge difference in like what changed the story.
Sure.
Which was really cool. There is a Batman one now that's out, and also a Minecraft story mode one, which I haven't played it yet, but it's, I mean, they have all kinds of games, and they're getting new, like, more licenses to do like other series too. So it's just crazy. Like, Telltale started so small, and then they went on to, I mean, people just like these episodic, like, story based. It's basically like a text adventure, but in comic book form. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah,
they hit a niche.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. They also have they have like one that's the King's Quest or something. I think, right? I think they made one like I think it was them. I'd have to look it up, but I've been like really interested. They're good. They just like sometimes like if the storyline isn't good, it's hard to like get into them because they're slow, and they're like very so they're like really heavily storyline based. So like there's not really much action, and even when there is, it's kind of like it's usually like just decision based actions. Like two people are gonna die.
Oh.
And then you're like.
Oh, the other one that I played was Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, okay.
And that was really funny. I mean that like. I don't think your decisions really made like a huge difference in how it changed the game, but in terms of story and in terms of keeping you entertained, like it was like an interactive movie basically, and it was hilarious. The whole thing, it was just like it was so well done. So they did do one that was like The Walking Dead, but it was strictly just Michonne.
Oh, really?
Like her story. It was like 3 episodes. It was like a smaller game, which I never played, but I think it does a little bit of her background, so that people know about it and stuff. But yeah, good games. I'm looking forward to season 3, The Walking Dead. So we'll see how that goes. But so I posed a question on Twitter today, just because I know that all of us have video game backlogs in general, and I mean, like endless piles and just lists of games that you own that you still haven't redeemed.
Yes.
And so I did the poll. I asked people basically how do you tackle your video game backlog, and the most people do is they played. So I gave 4 options: play during slow months, marathon sessions, and then what backlog. And there was 2 people, I guess, that said no, what backlog, and I was like, okay, well,
they must not be human.
Or they just
play one game.
Yeah, they just never buy a game. They just play WoW and they never buy a game. It's like,
or they're like the people that that buy like Fallout 4 or one of those other games, and they literally just play it until they've seen every single inch of the game.
It's like my brother. He has like mods and shit in now, and I'm like, oh my god, dude! It's like, can't believe you're still playing it.
Crazy.
He's been playing it since it like came out nonstop.
So the most people said 44% said they play during slow months, which is sort of, I mean, that's what I try and do, but 22% said marathon sessions, 22% said what backlog, and then 12% said was other, and one of the other responses was I let it build and build and slowly crush me until I die under the weight of all of my unplayed games.
That's my choice.
I feel like, if you so if you're a PC gamer for sure, like, or if you're like PlayStation, if you have PlayStation Plus, like, you'll be buying normal games and then then you get 4 free games a month, and you might go back to play 1 or never. Like, I don't know. I've gone back and played a few PlayStation Plus games, but all these friggin' Humble Bundle games, like, I mean, I've been playing on PC. Like, I just bought a PC like a month ago, and I don't even know if it was a month ago, but I already have like 50 games in my backlog on like Steam and through Humble Bundle and all that stuff, and it's just ridiculous.
Yep, it adds up so fast. It's like absolutely insane. It's just like, And they're all good games too. Like I just saw like this month, and there was like ones on last month I still haven't played. Like this month had like Soma and like all these games that are like I know are good, and I'm just like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like Banner Saga, I'm just like, I don't have time for this. So it's and the sad thing is it's not like I don't have time because I'm really busy with work. It's like I don't have time because I'm playing some other game way too much.
Yep. That's just what happens.
I don't know if that's sad or like something I should be proud of as a gamer, but it's just like it just is. So, but for me, I'm happy. My Dodo time is done. I've replaced it all with WoW time right now, but at some point, I'll have free time. Once WoW burns me out, then I'll play all those other games. And also for me, like whenever I play those games, usually it's like just out of pure sadness, right? Because it's like these games which fill this like giant void in my life are now gone, or like I'm just sick of them. So then I'm like just trying to like a fix. Like I'm like a drug fiend who's just like trying to like huff paint under the sink because that's like, you know, it's I don't have it anymore. So I'm just like I'll play this game that I like bought like a month ago. It's just like so it's like a lot of times like really not satisfying, even though they're great games. Because I'm just like I have them there and I like need to play something. But that's also when I find like diamonds in the rough where you like find a game and you're like, wow, this game was so much better than I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, man, I feel you. There's like I have so many games backed up, but this is what happens when you have a Humble Bundle monthly or like any of these things where you just get those like, you know, any subscription based. It's just
well, I mean like the well even the non-subscription based ones, but like things like Humble Bundle where it's like, oh, that like I just got an email before the podcast. There's a Game Maker bundle on sale.
Oh yeah.
Through so it's a Game Maker bundle, and it was like $1,800 worth of Game Maker software, and then like 10 or 12 games, and I literally bought it like five minutes before we started the podcast today. And it's just like, oops, now I have like 20 more games on here and like all this other software stuff that like I'll hopefully use at some point, but or learn how to use or something. But no, it's crazy. I have so many PlayStation Plus games that I don't like. I only do I just go and say, you know, redeem it or whatever. I don't actually download it to my PS4, and then I just like, and then I go back. Every once in a while, I'll go through like my download list or my game list, and it'll be like, holy shit, I forgot all about that game that I got that like 6 months ago, and then I'll maybe download it and play it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Just what happens.
mm-hmm. I mean, I try and play games during slow months, but like the backlog games, just because like summertime doesn't really have very many like new game releases that are super, super interesting. The fall gets really busy. Spring gets pretty busy. So, but also I do like to do marathon, like obviously I think all of us do marathon gaming sessions just to like, sometimes I'll just do it just to finish up some games. Like, okay, yeah, I know that this game takes about 12 hours. So, okay, well, I'm gonna do this over like 2 days, get it done. Because there's those games that it's like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to play it, and because a lot of other people have played it and said it's really good, but I also don't want to spend a ton of time on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it doesn't like captivate me, then that's my problem. Like it'll just fall off. You know, if a new game comes out and then I end up with like all these half-finished games, and then it's like if it's not, then there's something new out, and so many games I've started but never finished.
Yeah, I know. That's another problem too. Is like, for the longest time I think back when I you know, didn't get a lot of games, like right after getting out of college and stuff, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to buy like 1 or 2 games and I have to beat it because I'm not going to be able to like buy another game in a while. And then now it's just kind of like, okay, I mean, I played fucking No Man's Sky for like 4 days, and I'm like, I'm gonna just sell that shit on eBay for like half of what I spent on it, just because I don't want to. I don't even know how long No Man's Sky would take. No, I don't want to spend 40 hours, 50 hours on a game where it's like, okay, well, it's not even enjoyable.
You probably like rob somebody, making them pay half what it was retailed at. It's probably gonna be like $10 in like 2 months.
I know. That's true.
Yep. Oh well, not my problem.
Well worked, bitch.
I'm just, it's just, always regardless of how bad a game is, when you put it on eBay, just say, one of my favorite games. It was awesome. Lots of gameplay. Cool fun. Trying to get people interested. But unfortunately, there aren't enough ignorant people on eBay anymore. Anyway, I think that brings us, unless you guys have something else you want to bring up before we move on.
Nope. I do not.
All right. Well then, why don't we go ahead and talk about what we've been playing? And Steve, you can start us off since I know you and Tim were playing WoW Legion. But
yeah,
anything else?
Yeah, no, of course not. I'm just kidding. No, I've mostly just been playing WoW. I'm trying to think if there's some other games that I've been playing. Nah, I mean, I play a little Dota and stuff like that. Also, Overwatch Season 2 just came out. Came out, like, I don't know, a few days ago. So I have to, like, get back in and on that and, like, get my competitive rank. I have to do my placement matches or whatever, so yeah, Overwatch is back. They've done a little tweaking, I'm pretty sure, and they have sort of a new ranking system, which is basically the old ranking system multiplied by 25. But whatever, it's like it's basically like WoW Arena. If you've ever done that, you just like lose 25 points and then gain 25 points and never change. So it's like, but they did that, and then they also did a couple things with, like, they tried to fix some exploits where people were using Smurf accounts to queue up against really bad people, because like every win was like equivalent essentially. So I think they changed some restrictions on like who you can queue up with, and so they did some changes in that. I'll play that. That's gonna be on my list. But yeah, WoW. That's it.
Nice. Tim, you in the same boat?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be for the next few months, man. It's gonna be wow. And like, I mean, I don't think there's any other big games scheduled out. Well, actually, now that I think about it, the new Pokemon game comes out in November, so I have till then to just like 100% play WoW. So, and I mean that's what I do normally anyway, even when there's other games that come out. So not much is gonna change there. Yeah. But yeah, it's no, I'm telling. I mean, I've gotten pretty far with my rogue. I just hit I got my artifact to level 14, which leveling up you get to level going from hitting the level cap takes like a day, and then leveling up your artifact takes like weeks, if not months. It's gonna take forever. You need like 5 million artifact power points to level it up. It's just like, it's crazy. It's gonna be so much to do, and on top of that I have fucking 12 100s. It's just, I have so much to do in WoW. It's like daunting. I probably won't even, I'll level up a few, but yeah, I got my work cut out for me.
How long does it take to level up 100 to 110?
Probably, I mean, you could do it in a day if you really do it hard. It's not that hard.
I think like if you played reasonably, like seriously, like 2 days is probably fine. Yeah. I think mine probably took me like 2.5 days or something. So, and once you do it once, you can do it again. It's pretty standard if you think about that. That's like, it's something around probably like a level every like 2 or 3 hours, in that range.
Yeah.
And some of the bad levels, maybe if you're just like rusty and stuff, maybe four. Like for me, like my first couple levels were probably like 4 hours a piece. But then after that, you get kind of used to like what you're doing, and you get through all the like bullshit like storyline quests, and you start to actually just grind out like picking up rat whiskers and like punching guys in the, just doing the standard like, kill a guy, pick up a fish, like, and then whatever the stupid thing is, and then you get down to like
gather 4
They're,
persons or whatever.
They're all exactly like the same. They're just like kill a guy and also like pick up 5 eggs, and you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of time too is lost on like when you get a quest. It's like find this dude, and he's in some weird little cave that's not like obvious. So you spend like an hour searching for him. That's so you do it once, and then the next character that's an hour less time you got to spend looking for him.
Yeah, you just absolutely crush it. So. Yeah, you could fly through it. It's good. It's like a good pace, I would say. It's not super fast, but it's also not slow, And there's a lot of people that, it's just nice like if you want to go hard and grind things, you can, but also doesn't really like. That's the other thing that's like kind of interesting about WoW is like in this one they scaled like most of the game, so no matter there's like 4 zones in the game, and no matter where you go, it doesn't matter what level it is. So if like say you're like 108 and then someone starts playing, they're like 101, you can still like do the same quests together and stuff. It's like really strange. They like scale your stats so that you're like doing the equivalent stuff. So that's kind of cool for the LAN party actually, because like people weren't behind. I mean, Tim came and everyone was max level, and before that like half of us were max level, but like when I first came, like Ryan was like 108 and his friend was like 102, and they were like doing quests together. So it's kind of cool that they could like do that. You don't have to like.
Yeah, that is nice.
And so pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Charles? Anything?
Same Fallout 4 and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I've been playing one day, one the next day. Still just collecting fusion cores for my suit in Fallout, and just trying to explore every nook and cranny of Deus Ex, because there's a million different ways and things hidden, and just playing those.
Nice.
Still early
Pretty sure,
on in both.
I'm pretty sure at one point I had just like 65 fusion cores in my inventory, and I was like, why do I even have this many?
Just gotta get the perk that shoots them out like nuclear bombs or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
You just like eject them and blow people up.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Goofy.
I don't think I played like anything this past week except for I played the Battlefield 1 beta like right before I left for the weekend, and I liked it. It was good. It was, I only played like maybe 2 rounds, so I didn't get a good grasp on the game at all. But the game looks, it looks good. It played well. I played a couple different classes. It's a little. I mean, it's all old. Everything is old. Like it's all World War I era. So, the machine guns did like 0 damage. I was like chasing after this one guy, and I was just like blah, 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 and I seriously did that for like 35 seconds straight. And I was hitting him as I was running, and he was still just running away. And I was like, come on. He'd be dead at some point. This is ridiculous.
You have to wait for him to die from an infection or something.
and then I
like a week later.
Then I pulled out my handgun, and I was like, pap, 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 pap. 2-shot kills, everybody. I was like, what? Come on.
It's like Halo.
I think it was weird. It was real weird. So, I think the rifles do probably better damage. The sniper rifle definitely does, but the horses definitely change things up a little bit. It's basically like motorcycles in the other games, except that controlling the horse is a little different. And I haven't flown any planes yet, so I'm gonna probably try and do that after I get off the podcast. But I have hopes. I have hopes that it will be good. I've been looking for an actual decent Battlefield game for a while, since I fucking can't stand Call of Duty anymore. When I first started playing Battlefield, I was like, why aren't people dying in one shot? Like, what is happening right now? Like, oh my god, the sniper rifles, or like the snipers actually have to aim to kill me, and take into account bullet drop. It's not just okay, the center of the crosshairs, regardless of where you are, you're dead. One shot kill. Hate that. Terrible. I'm not gonna play Infinite Warfare. I'm tired of Call of Duty. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you everybody for listening. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes or SoundCloud, whichever you prefer. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well, as we have new videos coming out every week. So visit our website, lngamers.com, for some new reviews, because I think some new stuff went up on Hitman and another review that Megan just did, which I can't remember which game she did. But yeah, so also follow us at the LN Gamers on Twitter. You can also find our podcasts on the Pod Bros Network at podbros.com. And we've created a team for the Extra Life charity. So if you feel so inclined, if you're feeling charitable, go donate to our team page, and we will be hopefully streaming on November 5th, the day of the actual event. But we don't have a location of where we're going to do it yet, that's up in the air. So to go to that, you can go to extra-life.org/team/LN Gamers. And that's our team page right there. I need to update it a little bit and make it a little bit more it's just the very basic stuff. But anyways, donate to charity. It's for children. So, and it's to benefit the hospital, the Children's Miracle Network Hospital in Burlington, Vermont. So, yep, donate to charity. It's good. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Tim. I'm Nick. This has been Late Night Gamers Podcast, episode number 130, and we'll see you next week.
Sayonara.
Next Tuesday at 6 p.m. live. Or Friday. Not live.